Oh,
Okay.
I can hear you.
Yes.
All righty.
Let me readjust the height here, so this is good. Man,
Yeah.
and you guys sent me the invite. I mean, the
Yep.
technology
Young
improvement
person
was
out
significant.
Yeah. No idea what happened.
That's all good. Well, hey, we made it work. So thanks for joining us,
Indeed.
Travis. We chatted the other day. So you're out in Fayetteville, North
Yes.
Carolina.
Fayetteville, North Carolina, right outside
Vacation
of Fort Bragg.
hotspot in the United States.
Oh yeah, at least of the East Coast. We won't go as far as the whole country, but East Coast is where it's at. Yeah.
And who's there with you on screen?
This is Emily. She is our head coach.
Yes.
Hello, Emily. How are you?
Good.
You know, Travis, I don't think we chatted about this the other day when we were talking about doing this interview, but I've been down to Fayetteville a few times, did some seminars down there, and then just obviously I was in Virginia Beach for like 11 years, so not too entirely far. And, you know, every now and then head down to see some of the old green boys or whatever it happened to be.
Yeah.
And life was good. But anyway, so you guys are out there with CrossFit Guild. Give the audience a quick rundown, you know, who have never been to that area. What's the area like? What's CrossFit Guild like? You know, what's the atmosphere if somebody was to pop in there?
This area is very eclectic. It is in the South. However, we are a very large military town. I think Fort Bragg is the largest by population Army base in the country. So there's a very, very large military population here. To support that military. Say again?
They're probably, to say the least.
Yes. And obviously to support that population, there's a large civilian population as well to, you know, I'll imagine all the businesses, everything that follows the population of soldiers around. And it's right in the center of the state of North Carolina. So it's not the easiest town to get to by the highway, but it is, I mean, geographically right in the middle. Our gym is kind of a mirror of that same population, very eclectic. We have, you know, the full spectrum of athletic prowess in here, from grandmas all the way to, you know, tier 1 level operators. So it's a melting pot, and it's pretty rad.
And what would the culture be like, right? Because maybe there's a bunch of people watching this from around the world or in other parts of the country that aren't in military towns or don't have any exposure to that whatsoever, and might be assuming it's going to be, you come in and some drill sergeants barking orders at you, or, you know, or what's the culture? I don't know if that's accurate or inaccurate.
Yeah.
No.
No, it is not accurate. I would say it's almost the opposite of that, because a very great portion of the population lives that life daily, so they don't really want that when they leave work. And
right.
You know, when they come to the gym, it's kind of like refuge from that environment, you know. And we try to be kind of the antithesis of that, but still provide that motivation, that feedback that we need in order to get the desired outcome.
You know, I'm happy to hear that, because that's actually the environment that I like to work out in, really. I mean, once I left the military, I left, you know, and I enjoy the wonders and the comforts of civilian life and the increased courtesy and things of that nature. And I know there is a certain segment of society that responds well to that.
Yes.
But, you know, I guess, you know, there's give and take, right? Sometimes people, to actually get the best out of them, they need a kind word.
Right.
And sometimes they need a firm word, and sometimes they need a gentle push, and sometimes they need a firm push.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to walk that line is critical.
Sometimes they might need a swift kick.
Yeah, exactly. So how long has your gym been open?
We affiliated in 2013.
Oh, okay.
And
a good chunk of time.
Yes, we probably existed maybe a year and a half prior to that. It was a complete accident. I had a pretty awesome garage gym, and it just kind of overflowed with people on accident. And then in order to regain control of my garage myself, we got a location nearby and moved the majority of my gym to that location, and then just kind of snowballed from there. And it was a complete accident. I never intended to have an affiliate, and I'm completely happy that it happened.
Was it I guess at this moment in time, is it your full-time gig? Do you do something else as well?
I'm retired from the Army, so it takes up a great portion of my time, but in an attempt to become retired all the way, we've got hired a head coach, and we're slowly making our exit. It's difficult for me to do. This is my baby, but I think I'm doing a pretty good job trying to get out of there, but not all the way. I'm always going to come to class.
Sure.
But I'll be able to cherry pick now.
So it's taken 5 years, but now you've got yourself a head coach. What was the evolution of your business, or why now, or why did this make sense?
Empty nest. My youngest daughter just recently started college. She moved out of the house, and she's getting ready to move out of the house, and then my wife and I will be solo once again, and that has been a long time since we've been solo. So we're going to try to enjoy America a little bit.
Very cool, man. I'm happy for you. I hope you get to. And for maybe there's some people out there contemplating opening an affiliate, throwing it around, or in the same spot that you were, where they've got some people working out. The group has grown. Space is getting limited. Looking back now, 5 years, having opened your box, any 1 or 2 lessons learned you'd throw to people who are maybe considering it, things maybe that you'd wish you had either known, somebody had told you, or you'd done differently, anything at all?
I just think there's a lot of information out there that just needs kind of like double tapped. It's like you just don't realize how awesome it is when you're in the garage still. Like that environment and that dynamic is just so perfect, and it's really rad. And try to hold on to that as much as you can when you grow into a larger space. I would recommend to people, like, you don't want to go from garage gym into 7,000 foot warehouse facility like overnight. Just stay almost, I would say, try to keep it a little bit too small. Like, hey, our spot's a little bit too small, but we're not quite ready to move into a larger space yet. That's perfect.
Gotcha. Okay.
Just keep it small. If you're kind of having trouble finding a place to store all your stuff, just open the garage door or open the front door and step out on the road and like work out outside. But I would much rather have it a little bit too cramped than way too open.
And if that helps, I guess, create the culture or community that you want to preserve, what's the general gist of like the people that work out at Guild? Is it a hardcore competitive gym? Is it an older crowd? Is it a lot of kids? Is it blue collar? How does it shake out?
I would say that we are kind of a model of Fort Bragg. It is average age, I would say, is mid 30s down to early 20s.
Okay.
Mostly married, military families. And then we have some outliers that are older or younger. And we have a lot of our active duty military people are very competitive, just kind of that's the way they are by nature, I think. And then we have, the people that just want to work out and have a good time and, and just get the job done every day, which is perfect. That's kind of what we want. I try to keep our daily classes at we're here to work out. We're here to do CrossFit. We're not here to necessarily go to the games, but if you want that kind of thing, then I got something for you. It's just not going to happen in class.
Sure. So I don't want to make any assumptions, but having been in the military myself and then running a gym in a military town, so on and so forth, do you have any challenges, is maybe a good word, of the ego or the military bravado coming in? Maybe they should scale something, but they don't want to. They have yourself or your female head coach telling them something, and things happen.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Yes. I mean, there's not a lot, like, it's not overwhelming, but there are, sometimes you get a couple in there that don't like a girl telling them what to do. But it's nothing that like a simple one-on-one conversation hasn't been able to fix. And it's very few and far in between that there's really someone that's like a coaching challenge, I would say.
Okay.
We always tell people that we coach people here. Like, so just know that you're going to be coached from the time you come into our on-ramp program and then until forever. And no matter how experienced you are, you're going to still be getting coaching. So our community is very receptive to coaching,
Nice.
which is definitely appreciated.
Yeah.
Good. And that probably spills over, and that attitude, both good attitude and bad attitude, is both of them are contagious, right? So I guess if you continue to reinforce the good and not accept the bad, hopefully that spreads just as the other thing would. So
yes.
So you got a great thing going on. You got a good community. Why in the world did you decide to reach out to us at Linchpin and offload your programming concerns to somebody else? What was that decision?
I had been personally following CrossFit Linchpin for quite some time. I think at the time that I finally decided to make Linchpin become my gym programming as well, I had already been following Linchpin for a couple of years. So it wasn't really a matter of knowing if the programming is good or not. I had already known that for myself. And I think, I don't know, it was just a light bulb moment, man, where I was like, I always had that idea as a coach and gym owner that you had to see your people to be able to really get a personal program for them. And I spent a great deal of time programming. I mean, I did, all the gym programming myself, and I constantly changing is not the right word. I was trying to like tweak it, refine it, like up until the moment I said 3, 2, 1, go. I'm like, hey, is this perfect? Can I change a little bit? Can I like alter anything to make it better? And that worked, but it also took up a great deal of my time. And I took a government security contract. I went overseas for a while, and the staff that I had at the time, I was going to be out of the net. So I decided I'll just let the gym do what I do. And then boom. And then as it started, I was like, I mean, this is awesome. Because now as I'm thinking to myself about the program that I'm following and then tailoring that program to my clients in the gym, it seems like I have more time to focus my attention on the client and the program that we're doing rather than focusing my attention on developing a program in order to grow get this person better physically. It's I don't know, it was just a little bit of ignorance and maybe just some ego involved in like doing your own programming, and it can definitely be done, but it's a full-time gig. I appreciate all of your efforts and time that you spend, and I understand the frustration completely. And I'm so glad that you have to put up with it, not me.
Well, it's mutually beneficial. I'm happy to do that. That allows you to coach and develop your trainers and run your business and do all the other 1,500 things that affiliate owners have to do. Anyone who follows Linchpin knows, we're very vocal about the fact that we're classic CrossFit. Couplets, triplets, intensity, not volume, respect the heavy days, embrace scaling. I'm not sure what your affiliate was doing before that. Was that a shift? And if so, how difficult of a sell, I guess, was that to coaches or clients?
We did a little bit of, like I'd say traditional now, but what's happened in the affiliate world, I guess you would say, is like trying to model a competitor program where you're doing a strength segment, a mobility segment, a metcon, and you're doing all the things in one day, or in 1 hour because it's in one class, and we had a little bit of that. I was opposed to that, based on I'm an old school CrossFitter too, so I understand the beauty and the results that happen from focus, and so I was kind of anti that, and I bent a little bit based on feedback from my clients, so I did bend. And honestly, since, starting to follow Linchpin in the gym permanently, I'm more stern and put down based on based on the ability to say, hey, you're not listening to me. I'm not the only one that believes this. Okay. This is a tried and true methodology, and it's proven. And if you want to prove me wrong, then do what I say, and we'll see if you fail.
Right. I mean, it's funny. It's a never-ending dialogue that either
Right.
I have with individuals. I'm sure you do. And the simplest thing is I always say, if I'm not wed to this model, like I'm just wed to whatever works. If something
Right.
else worked better, why in the world wouldn't I do that? It makes no sense. So,
Right.
I mean, it's just, and it's really cool. I'm 44 now. What's really cool, and as every decade goes by, is just not living in pain and having your knees, back, and shoulders feel wonderful. That's something that I just don't think somebody who's 25 and just beating the stuffing out of themselves for no reason whatsoever actually has a comprehension of yet.
Right. And that's one of the things that's probably unique about our area is I have a large population of guys who are trying out for special operations units that go through this gym because of our location. So to try to make those guys understand that recovery is where it's at, is very difficult because they're of the motto. I mean, you know the deal. If you're not doing it and it doesn't suck, it's not worth it.
Right.
And that's incorrect.
Yep. More is better.
More is better.
Injured, just shut your mouth and grind on.
Don't need to sleep. That's for later. You can sleep when you're dead. All those terms that we threw out there when we were young and, motivated, those were wrong.
Right. There is a better way. You can really fit and really happy and have fun and feel good. It's actually possible.
Yeah. Stay healthy.
It's actually possible. Healthy. So on Linchpin, we program a rest day on Thursday. We program a rest day on Sunday. The affiliates are open on Thursday. So what do you guys do on Thursdays and how do you guys deal with that?
We are
1 day ahead.
1 day ahead. Yeah. So we have our rest day is on Wednesday, and then we are closed on Saturday and we are open on Sunday.
Okay.
So we have like a 1 o'clock class on Sunday. So on Wednesdays we have WTF Wednesday, where it's just like not related to Linchpin at all. So a couple weeks ago we did Fran on Wednesday, and like the next day was Jackie. So people were like, "What the heck?" Yeah. So I said it as a joke. It was like, "What should we do tomorrow?" And it was like, "Oh, I just was joking. Let's do Fran." And then the next day I like looked on Beyond the Whiteboard and it was on there, and I was like, "Oh, we're actually doing it. So that's fine."
Yeah. That's amazing.
So we just call it WTF Wednesday, and it has nothing to do with anything, and that's sort of the point.
It's mostly a fun day.
Yeah.
Fun day,
we'll do
catch-up day.
Skills day.
Skills. Meathead day. Like, bench press. Like 5x5. Let's just get it out and go heavy. And it's just
fun.
whatever. That's why it's called it's just WTF Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then Saturday obviously is a rest day because the gym's closed.
And what has been, this is another thing that affiliates can find very challenging or tricky, right? Because part of the methodology that we embrace, if we are doing variance and we're doing everything, we're not afraid to program running or sprinting.
Yes,
a lot of affiliates don't want to do that because the parking lot will be empty.
Right.
So what has been your guys' take on that?
Can I take it?
Go ahead.
Okay. So we've had this issue. We've had a few people that are like, well, I have a 3-day-a-week membership. So if I see a 5K run, I can do that at home. But did you do it at home? Like, did you run the 5K at home?
They did not.
No. So you see now, like, you didn't get better. It was the same thing with sprinting. Okay, but did you run your sprints at home? Well, no. Well, okay. Like, so you have to come in or whatever. One of our members in particular that I'm thinking of in this instance, she has started coming to running days because she is the one that said that to me. And I'm like, well, did you do it? And it's like, no, I didn't.
Fair question.
So, yeah. So now she does come in on running days.
And we do use a lot of shame.
Yeah.
I mean, shame is a thing in our gym, and
it's effective.
It's much like the team room. You come in a team room and You know,
Yep.
if you fell out of a run, I'm gonna call you out, man.
You're gonna hear about it.
Yeah, you better have a 6-pack in your hand if you come back here, bro.
Yeah, I mean, way back in the day, we like switched our programming up. It was a 5K day, and it was way back when we were in the garage, and no one came. It was like me and him, like in the garage, and then so we did something else. And then the next day, when everyone came, they thought the 5K wasn't there. We're like, okay, since no one wanted to come yesterday, we're gonna run the 5K right now. And people were like, oh no, like what the heck? So
You know, it's funny how things shift in the community. I remember a long time ago, the actual opposite was true. I remember talking to Jeff Tincture, old school guy from CrossFit Fairfax up outside DC. And like 10 years ago, you couldn't get members to show up to heavy days because everyone just associated that CrossFit was you feeling like you were going to puke, this heavy sweat going on. And if it was a 5x5 deadlift, the parking lot was empty. Nobody would show, but they'd show up. And now it's funny just to see how people have changed. I'm sure we'll shift somewhere else again.
We've never experienced that problem.
No, I think
our
like
job
maybe
to
with
keep people on
military
track.
people, it's just like when dudes see deadlifts, it's like, okay, well, girls, go ahead and grab some 45s now because all the guys are about to take all the plates and we won't have any for ourselves. Like, you better go ahead and claim them.
That's fantastic. Yeah, it's
you definitely here if you want everybody to show up for sure. Bench. If you put bench on the internet, they will be here for sure. Like waiting at the door for you to open up. I'm here. It's my time to shine. It's my time to shine.
I remember those days, especially in the military. I mean, that was primarily the one thing. I mean, we used to make fun of it as the regular thing, but whatever you benched in the military, that was your indication of how capable you were as an athlete or soldier, which is funny because it makes no sense whatsoever.
Right.
But that was
not a very effective measure of your overall
What's your bench? You know, if you were north of 300, you were a ninja. It was just that simple. That was that was the metric. So I won't keep you guys all day. I just want to say, obviously, thank you for the support. Thanks for trusting. Thanks for allowing me to be a part of what you guys have going on. But before we go, you mentioned something cool to me the other day, Travis, and hopefully I'm not putting you on the spot here, but could you brag a bit about your mom and her athletic endeavors in the gym?
Yeah, so I was by far my favorite athlete that comes to our gym is obviously my mom, right? She's been training with me almost from the beginning of my CrossFit career, and she's 67 years old, I believe now, 67. And she's in the gym 4 days a week, and she kills it. I use her as an example all the time during my on-ramp class, and proud coaching moments as well is my mom did her first pull-up in her life when she was 63.
That's fantastic.
So I use that example all the time, which is very often actually because a lot of people have trouble doing a pull-up. A strict pull-up is a hard thing to do.
Sure.
And it's very frustrating for people when they realize that, like, I indeed cannot do this. And I say, hey, if my mom can do it, you can do it. You just have to put in the work, and
just stick with it.
So she motivates people as well. She's always here, and
so
she is a stud.
Guild's got everything from your hardcore military dude up to people in their 60s getting after it and everything in between.
Oh, yeah. We have the full spectrum of athletic prowess displayed in our gym. Mm-hmm. And if at any time you think you're above the community here, I'll just make you work out with my mom. And I'm pretty sure she'll humble you.
Well, I tell you what, if for whatever reason my travels bring me out to Fayetteville, I'll see you there, man, for sure.
Indeed.
So again, thank you, and Emily, good luck as the head coach. Yeah. I'm sure you'll crush it, and I'll see you guys on the interwebs.
Yep. Awesome, man. Awesome.
All right.
Keep it up.
Have a good day. Thanks again.
Bye.
Thank you. Yeah.